Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Noble Vlogs. Today, on this episode, we're going to be spreading some oats on a field that we deep ripped already, and then once the oats are spread, we're going to disc it up. And the goal here by doing this is so that the ground doesn't blow if it gets windy. The oats will actually hold the soil down and just, like I said, not have it blown away. Oats, they come up out of the ground really fast, and so that's why we are going to plant these oats rather than, like, say, rye or wheat. But first things first, I need to take Dad up to a neighbor's shop because our 8430 had to get new injectors. So got that done over the weekend. Then after that, gotta head to town, get the spreader. We're borrowing a spreader from the co-op and load it up with oats, spread it, and then I'll probably take the spreader back before I hook on the disc and disc it. Don't quite know if I'm going to get the discing done today or tomorrow, but we'll just have to see. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned. Almost didn't want to start, if you couldn't tell. But we gotta get fuel in this, because you can see down bottom right bar, that's the fuel one, and it's pretty low. So we're gonna run up to our fuel trailer. James, he's filling up the 84 from our main tank right now, so I won't bother him or wait for him. I'll just fill up from our trailer and head to town. Alright, got fuel. Now we are going to head on over to town and take mostly back roads. We're all loaded up. Had to go on the scale of the co-op, which was a very tight fit. I actually had to readjust a couple of times just to get it right, but we figured it up. I believe 73 bushels total of oats, and there's actually 75 acres, and our target is a bushel to the acre. So we'll just have to see if we get there. We get there. Yeah, these are just bin run oats, meaning that they're not clean, they're not treated, they're harvested and put in the bin, and we just gotta spread them out. I got all the GPS set up, got my offsets and all that programmed in. Now I'm gonna go make sure that the spinners are spinning and that my chain drive is down. I'm using number 1 bit forward for it to come down, and you'll see what I mean when it says to come down. There's a little tire that's ran off of the big drive tire. CPGO's going there, spurs are going there. And right here, this tire is what drives the chain in there, pushing the seed out onto the spinners, spinning. Hopefully it doesn't clog. I'm gonna have to make sure after a round that it's not clogging up with straw or anything. Like I said, since they're bin run, they aren't clean. Might be asking, well, why are we spreading the oats? Why don't you, we know that you have a drill, you were drilling alfalfa, why don't you just drill the oats? So you see, this ground is actually deep ripped, and it's soybean ground, and when you do a bunch of tillage on soybean ground, it'll tend to blow, which we don't really want that. Topsoil is very essential in growing your crops and producing a good yield. Why we deep ripped this is because we actually had some manure spread on here, and the trucks that came out here, when they spread it, it was the soil was wet. And when anytime you're doing any field kind of work and it's wet, it compacts the ground really hard. So that's the point of the deep ripper, is that you break up the ground and break up the hard pan, which hard pan is just a layer of the ground underneath that's very hard, and the roots can't actually penetrate that. So we come in with the deep ripper, break it up, so that way the roots can get down. It's not the truck's fault that the ground was packed. They are very busy this time of year with people needing manure spread, and so they just had to get it done, which we had to figure out what we're gonna do, and so that's what we did. We decided that, hey, let's spread some oats on here, get them growing up, so that way it's not blowing, and then once the oats are up, we'll plant corn into it and spray them off. It is kind of a waste though that we are just gonna plant these, just spray them off right away, but we really had no other choice than to do what we're doing right now. So that's just kind of why we're not drilling the oats rather than spreading the oats. Not to mention, we're going twice as far with a spreader than a 20-foot drill. This spot in the field is actually where they had to stockpile the manure, so then that way they didn't have to go 20 miles to the feedlot just to get the crap. But we're just making sure everything is flowing quite right, which it is. It actually looks pretty good. Gotta keep on going. Dad, he's actually out here right now. Where he's at, there was actually a building site there, and when they tore it down, they had some big chunks of concrete that were buried in. So when James was going through, deep ripping, those shanks brought that up, and possibly even brought some metal up. And so Dad, he's trying to find most of it so that we don't run anything into the tires of this tractor or a combine or sprayer or anything that's going to be out here doing work. So not only is it just where Dad is over there, but big chunk concrete right there. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So I'm out of oats, and I got about 50 acres done. It's right about there. So I think we're over 2/3 of the field covered, and yeah, I guess it is what it is. I called Dad, let him know, and he said that yeah, it shouldn't blow. Probably should have did every other line on the GPS. That way, more of it's covered, and then start going back into the lines that I skipped. But it is what it is. We're not gonna go get more oats just to finish it out. I calculated it. We wanted to get about 1 bushel to the acre, and I calculated it. We were getting about 1.5 bushels. So I'll let the co-op guys know what the rate was, and so that way they can adjust accordingly when other people have to use it. What are the odds that that's gonna get me before I get the spreader unhooked and back home? Because that is coming for me. I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get me. So if you can see that, there's moisture on the window. And I don't want to say it, but I probably will anyways. But I see snow flurries. I don't like that, especially in April. I ain't having it. I ain't liking it. Look at that. That's gross. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that's moisture, but why snow in April? I'm pretty sure it has intensified now. Dad got the disc hooked up to the 83. He did that this morning. We actually had to run into town because a spring on the back here, on the harrow, was actually broken. There's supposed to be a spring there, like that one over there. That's what holds the harrow down. But I got to grease this, check all the tires, and there's a gauge wheel here that long story short, got ran over with the disc while it was disking the ground. So I got to put that on. I think it's in the back of the pickup, and get it all greased up. And Dad, he's gonna work on the spring, I believe. So let's get to work. Heading out. Discing along. Dad, he rode with me a couple of rounds just to make sure that we have the disc set right. Down where they were stockpiling all the manure, it is cloddy and clumpy, and the disc doesn't really want to break it up all that much. What really would help is if on the back of the disc, rather than the metal tine harrow, we'd have a crumbler, which all a crumbler is just a bunch of rods welded into like kind of a basket in a cylinder shape, and just it spins along, breaking up the clumps of the clods. And there's a spot down here too that it's pretty clumpy as well, that would help out. But I think I'm just gonna disc over it again. Just try and break up as much as possible. But hopefully these oats, they'll come up and they hold the ground down, because out and right in front of me, like right here, it's a lot heavier, but up in front here, it's much sandier ground, which will tend to blow. Just gonna keep disking along and get these oats turned in and finish up the field. My way all the way up to the fence on the south side of the field. So all I'm doing now is I'm just doing the end rows up to where I've disked, as you can see back there. But it just takes away, have to do more and more end rows, but I don't think it's gonna take too long. I do on the west end there, there's actually, you see that white house, so I got a disc around that and get it all cleaned up for the most part. But we're not gonna be doing any corn stalks today, just getting the oats in and get them growing. When we're over on the corn stalks, we're actually gonna have to sink the disc in deeper, and so we'll have the 84 hooked onto the disc for that, so that way it pulls it a little bit nicer. Right when I turned the camera off, I noticed something sticking out of the ground. More field finds. I was just going along and I couldn't see it at first. Big old chunk of concrete, but it wasn't. This wasn't where it was. It was actually behind the disc, and it was buried. I didn't see it with the sun in my eyes. It's getting hard to see, but going along, I could hear like a scrape. I turn around real quick and I could just see the back end of the disc just jump up out of the ground. So I'm like, if there's something big enough to do that, it doesn't need to be out here anymore. So hopefully they'll just ride on the disc to the end of the field, and then I'll drop it off there. Right by this house, like I said, I think before, there used to be a big feedlot, and there's a bunch of concrete laying around. They're pretty big chunks. I think you even see a tire. So I'm gonna pick that up. There's just a well right in front of me in these weeds here, and there's a tank there along with the well, and so I'm just gonna put the concrete and tire in there, and then along with the concrete and all that, I found an old shovel and a big T-post. Gotta love Nebraska sunsets when you're working on the field. But we are done, finally. Just gotta fold the disc up. And we are all done. We're gonna wait, like I said, for the corn stalks. But the bean stubble is all disced up, oats are disced up, and got some chunks of concrete out of the field. That's gonna do it for this episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you guys liked about it, what you want to see on the farm. I'll do my best to provide to you guys like always, but for now I don't have any suggestions, so I'm just gonna show what we do on the farm. But like and subscribe if you want to. I always appreciate new subscribers and you guys liking the videos. It shows that maybe I'm doing a good job, maybe I'm not, I don't know. Like I said, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys stick around for the next video to come. See ya!